Hi everyone, so in this screencast we're going to have a look at Microsoft Teams. In particular, how you can use Microsoft Teams in a similar way to how we use shared drives in Google. So there are many other features to Teams like chat and meetings, calendar, tasks in your planner, Copilot, things like that, but today we're just going to mainly focus on Teams and channels and files. Okay, so I've already got Teams open. If you have not installed Teams yet, then you should pause the video here and install Teams and then install OneDrive. Both are available in self-service, and then come back and continue on with the screencast. Okay, so I have Teams open, and you can see I'm already on the Teams tab, and in here you can see the teams that I already belong to. Right, so for this tutorial I'm going to focus on the Digital Strategy Support and Services team. Okay. And just a few things in here. You're going to see each team, when you create it, it has this general channel. Channels are used to help organize your team, and each channel that you create will essentially have a different shared folder, and all of the members of the team can contribute to those folders or to those channels. Okay, so before we get into channels, let's talk about the team management. So currently I am an owner of this channel, and so if I click on members, okay, I can add new members. Right, and so come in here, and then you're just typing in the email of the person you want to add. Right, and then within the members there are two levels of membership: owner or member. Okay, as an owner, you can add and remove members. You can add and remove channels. Right, I don't suggest having too many owners, because then you might get too many channels and things might become a little bit disorganized. Okay, so our focus is going to be on files and how the files in Teams sort of mirror the same sort of functionality you would have in Google shared drives. So if I come out to my general team again, you're going to see there's a files tab here. Right, so I'm going to click on that, and within this files tab, anything that you put in this folder, and you can drag and drop a file from your desktop, and there are other ways that we'll explore in a minute of how to get files in here, but you can drag and drop that from your desktop into here. Any files you put in this folder, anyone on the team, or at least any members of that channel, will have access to those files. Alright, so how do we see this outside of Teams? So with every Files tab in every channel, you'll see a sync button. Okay, so when you click on that, what that's going to do is going to sync with the OneDrive app that's on your computer, which also syncs with the OneDrive cloud. So I'll click on sync. Okay, it just gives you a brief message saying we're syncing your files and you can continue working. So now, once that's done, you should see this folder in OneDrive. Okay, so I'm going to click over to Finder. So similarly to the team drive in Google, when you click on the OneDrive shared libraries at CDNIS, you will see the folders for your team, okay, and all of the channels in your team. Right, so I can see the same folder here and here. Right, so this folder, okay, if I put a file in here from Finder, okay, it will reflect back here in my team. And now if you're more used to working in the cloud version, in the browser version of Google Drive, you might feel more comfortable doing that as well here. Right, so there are a few different ways you can do this. So I'm in OneDrive, okay, on my computer in Finder. And if I click on, right-click here and then click on View Online, this will open the browser version of this folder. right? So this is probably more similar to what you would see in Google Drive. Okay, again, I'm going to close this, and if I come back to the team, right, and here I click on Open in SharePoint, this will do the same thing. It'll open up this folder in OneDrive in the browser version. Okay, so I'm just going to close this, and from here, just like in Google Drive, if I want to create a new document, I can click here and then click on Word Document. Okay, and we can call this whatever you want. Team notes. Okay. All right, so now that I have this team notes file here, when I switch back to the Teams app, I should see the same document in there. So coming here, right, this is the web version of our team drive, okay, and should get used to calling it a SharePoint drive. Our team SharePoint drive, you'll see the team notes here, right? Come back to Microsoft Teams. Again, I see the Teams node here. Okay, come back to the version installed on my computer, and inside of this folder, okay, this is the team name, this is the channel name, I see the team notes again, right? And so anyone who has access to this channel will have access to the team notes Word file. Okay, so this is the sort of equivalent of the SharePoint team drive is equivalent to the team drive on Google Drive. All right, so channels. Right, so this is where you might want to organize your channels. So let's say, for example, in our digital strategy support and services, we are going to have a channel that we want to store all of our how-to documents, FAQs, things like that. Right, so what I can do here is click on Add Channel, okay, and you'll only be able to do this if you're an owner of the team. I'm going to call it Instructional Resources. Okay, channel type, a standard team, that means everyone on the team has access. A shared team, okay, people on teams or in your organization or outside your organization can have access, and I'm going to choose this one because these instructional resources we're going to want more than just our team to have access to. And of course the third one is private, and you can specify people in your from your team who will have access to this. Okay, so I'm going to click on Create. Okay, for now I'm just going to keep it to the team members. All right, so again, if I click on the Files tab, so again, if I click on the Files tab, and it does take a couple of minutes to set this up, so you might have to wait 20 or 30 seconds. But if I click on the Files tab now, because we've waited, I should see a very similar setup. Right, so now I can see that this is empty, right? This is going to be a different folder now. Right, so going back to General, I can see my team notes. Okay, and if I go to Instructional Resources and click on Files, right, this is a new folder. Right, so now, again, what I can do is I can click on Sync. Okay, and this should be now syncing with OneDrive here. I'm going to come up a folder, and now you can see that the new folder is here, Digital Strategy, Support, Services, Instructional Resources. Okay, so again, team name followed by channel name. Right, and again, similarly, let's try it from here this time. In our first example, I created it on a Word document on the web version of OneDrive or SharePoint, and so now I'm going to show you that if I create one in Finder, okay, that'll also be reflected in our Teams app, and it will also be reflected online in our web browser version. So I'm going to just create a new folder. Okay, we'll call it Instructional Videos. Okay, we'll give it a few seconds to sync. Okay, so it's going to have to sync online. You could actually see a sync icon there, which has now disappeared. Okay, and I just got a check mark here saying that all files are synced. So now if I come here and I say view online, okay, I'm now in the instructionals video folder, and again I can create different resources here, okay, which will again be reflected in all three different spaces because they all point to the exact same cloud location. Okay, so if I come back here, right, there's my instructional videos. It's also here in my web version, and it's also here in my local version of OneDrive on my desktop. The last thing I want to discuss is sharing permissions. So by default, depending on how you've set up your channel, okay, so coming back to Teams, so my general one is only available to group members. However, if, for example, this is something you wanted to share with all of your students or particular students, you can also change the share settings of individual files or folders within your team drive, right? Just like you can in Shared Drive on Google. All right, so here you can click on Share, right? And you can share it out to different people in the organization, or you can open it up to the world. It's up to you. It's the same thing here. So I'm going to go up here and then come in here and here. There's a share option here that will bring you the same share screen. Okay, and you can add a name, a group, or an email in here and share it with people just like you do in Google. And of course, if we switch back to our web version, so we're going to go back to view online. Okay, I can click on share here and I will get a very similar window. All right, so by default, your channels will share to whoever you've given access to in that channel, but you can then adjust the individual share settings, and this might be important for resources on Toddle that you want to share with students outside of the members of your team. All right, so that's it for this. That's just an intro to shared folders using SharePoint and Teams. We'll talk more about different features of Teams in future videos.